So in chapter 4, we'll discuss the business challenges within the 7 domains of IT responsibility and how security policies help mitigate risk in each of those domains. As organizations increasingly rely on technology for their operations, ensuring the security and integrity of their IT infrastructure becomes paramount. The 7 domains of IT responsibility provide a framework for understanding the different areas that require security measures, ranging from user awareness to system application security. So, in this chapter, we're going to explore the unique challenges faced within each domain and discuss how security policies play a crucial role in mitigating risk and supporting business processes. Now, within the 7 domains of a typical IT infrastructure, there are many different ways to group security policies. One common approach is to group security policies based on common risks and related policy issues, and you put those into domains. This method allows for logical separation of security concerns into more manageable areas. By doing so, it becomes easier to address specific security needs within each domain. Now, the primary advantage of grouping security policies into domains is that each domain typically focuses on different target audiences. This approach enables tailored security measures to address unique requirements and risks associated with each domain. So, we're going to briefly discuss the advantages of this method. First is targeted security. By understanding the distinct characteristics of each domain, security policies can be customized to address the specific needs of users, workstations, networks, remote access, and applications. Also, grouping security policies by domains allow organizations to allocate resources efficiently. Instead of implementing a one size fits all security approach, resources can be focused on the domains that require the most attention and the most susceptible to risk. Also, the division of security policies into domains provide a structured framework for managing security measures. It helps organizations organize policies, implement controls, and assess risk in a systematic manner. Now, while each of these domains shares similarities, they are distinctive enough to warrant separate focus. So, we're going to briefly explore the uniqueness of each domain. The user domain encompasses the end users and their interaction with the IT infrastructure. This emphasizes user awareness, training, and access controls. The workstation domain includes the physical and virtual devices used by employees, requires security measures such as secure configurations, malware protection, and patch management. The LAN domain focuses on securing internal networks, including switches, routers, and other network devices, through measures like network segmentation, intrusion detection, and prevention systems. The LAN to WAN domain addresses the security concerns associated with the connection between the local area network and the wide area network. This includes firewalls, VPNs, and gateway security. The WAN domain focuses on securing the wide area network connections, such as lease lines or internet connections, by implementing encryption, authentication, and traffic monitoring. The remote access domain deals with securing remote access to the IT infrastructure, requiring measures like secure authentication, VPNs, and remote access policies. And finally, the system application domain emphasizes securing the operating system, database, and applications. That involves measures such as access controls, vulnerability management, and data backups. Now, the user domain refers to any end user who interacts with the organization's information, whether it's in digital or physical form. This includes not only accessing digital files, but also handling physical documents such as printed reports. End users play a vital role in maintaining the security and integrity of an organization's information. End user awareness and of security policies and on the job training are crucial components of the gain um, of the user domain. Now, while a formal education program provides a foundation, the practical experience gained through on the job training is invaluable. End users need to be educated on the best practices, security protocols, and potential risks that are associated with their actions. Onboarding refers to the process of training and integrating new employees into the organization. It's a critical phase where employees should be introduced to security policies and provided with the necessary knowledge to fulfill their responsibilities securely. Effective onboarding ensures that new employees are aware of the organization's security practices from the onset. The authentication, authorization are essential aspects of the user domain. Authentication verifies the identity of the user, ensuring they are who they claim to be, while authorization determines the level of access and permissions granted to the user based on their roles and responsibilities within the organization. Now, a popular authorization methods one is the role based access control. That is a popular method within the user domain. It assigns roles to the users and grants permission based on those roles. This simplifies access management by categorizing users into predefined roles, reducing the complexity of managing individual user permissions. Another method of authorization is the attribute based access control. This relies on specific attributes associated with a user's login, such as their job title, location, or department. These attributes determine the access and permissions granted to the user, allowing for a more granular control over resources access. Now we'll look at some of the key policies within the user domain that help ensure security in IT environments. The acceptable use policy outlines behaviors and activities of end users when using company resources. It provides guidelines on the appropriate use of technology, network resources, and systems within the organization. This policy it helps prevent misuse, unauthorized access, and potential security breaches caused by inappropriate or malicious user activity. The email policy establishes guidelines and best practices for the use of email systems within an organization. It covers topics such as email etiquette, proper handling of sensitive information, email content restriction, and the use of email for business purposes. This policy helps prevent security incidents related to phishing attacks, data leakage, and the spread of malware through email. The privacy policy outlines the organization's commitment to protecting the privacy and confidentiality of the user information. It provides guidelines on the collection, storage, and handling of personal and sensitive data. This policy ensures compliance with privacy regulations and builds trust with the customers, employees, stakeholders by promoting transparency and responsible data management. The system access policy defines the rules and procedures for accessing the organization's systems and resources. So it provides guidelines for password management, authentication mechanisms, remote access, and the user account provisioning and deprovisioning. So this policy helps prevent unauthorized access, data breaches, and insider threats by ensuring that only authorized individuals have access to sensitive information and to sensitive systems. The physical security and clean desk policy focuses on the security of physical assets, facilities, and workspaces. Now, it includes guidelines for securing work areas, protecting equipment, and maintaining a clean and organized workspace. This policy helps prevent physical theft, unauthorized access to sensitive documents, and the loss or compromise of physical assets. The corporate mobility policy that addresses the use of mobile devices and remote access to company resources. So it outlines the rules, procedures for securing mobile devices, accessing corporate networks remotely, and the handling of sensitive data on mobile platforms. This policy will help mitigate the risk associated with mobile device loss, unauthorized access, and data breaches caused by insecure mobile practices. The social network policy that establishes guidelines for the appropriate use of social media by employees within the organization. It'll cover such topics as social media account management, content sharing, privacy settings, and professional conduct online. So, this policy helps protect the organization's reputation, prevents disclosure of confidential information, and mitigate security risk arising from social engineering attacks or the spread of malicious content. The workstation domain refers to the computing devices used by end users. These are devices like your laptops, desktops, tablets, mobile devices, any computing device that's going to be used. They serve as the primary interface for accessing information and performing tasks within an organization's IT infrastructure. Now, it's crucial to recognize that in the context of the 7 domains of IT infrastructure, a workstation can refer to any end user device that interacts with information systems. So, when the end user seeks to access information, they typically authenticate themselves within the user domain. So, this authentication process verifies their identity and ensures they are a recognized user within the system. Now, once they're authenticated, the end user is often granted authorization to access the workstation itself. That establishes establishes a secure connection between the user and the workstation itself. Now, each workstation within an IT infrastructure is going to possess its own unique identity, much like that of an end user. This identity allows a system to distinguish and differentiate between different workstations that are accessing their network. This is done so organizations can implement appropriate security measures and control access to sensitive resources based on the workstation's identity. A couple ways that security practices for securing a workstation include implementing a strong authentication mechanism. These are such as passwords, biometrics, or two factor authentication. And that's to ensure that only authorized users can access the device. Also, keeping the operating system, applications, and security patches up to date. That's to address any vulnerabilities and protect against known threats. You also want to deploy import protection solutions such as antivirus software, firewalls, intrusion detection systems. That's to detect and prevent malicious activities. Another way to secure a workstation is to enforce security policies and configurations that limit user privileges, restrict software installations, and enforce data encryption. You also want to regularly educate end users about safe computing practices, such as avoiding suspicious links or attachments, using secure networks, and practicing good password hygiene. So, now we're going to discuss the concept of central management systems and how they play a crucial role in enforcing security policies and maintaining control over workstations. So, a central management system refers to a centralized platform or software that enables organizations to manage and control multiple workstations from a central location. Okay, so this system streamlines and automates various management tasks, and that allows for the efficient administration and enforcement of security policies across workstations. Some of those tasks that are can be managed from a centralized location, include inventory management. That's maintaining a comprehensive and up-to-date inventory of all the workstations connected to the network. This includes tracking hardware and software details, device configurations, and other relevant information. Discovery management involves identifying and detecting all workstations connected to the network. This process helps ensure that no unauthorized or unmanaged device are present, reducing potential security risk. Patch management refers to the process of applying software updates, security patches, and bug fixes to workstations. By using a central management system to facilitate the distribution and installation of the patches across multiple workstations, this ensures that they're up to date with the latest security fixes. Help desk management involves providing technical support and assistance to end users regarding workstation related issues. Log management involves collecting, analyzing, and storing log data generated by workstations. A central management system captures logs from various workstations that allows organizations to monitor and analyze activities, detect security incidents, and investigate potential threats or policy violations. Now, security management includes the implementation and enforcement of security policies and controls within the workstation domain. A central management system provides a centralized interface to configure security settings, enforce access control, monitor security events, and manage security related configurations across multiple workstations. Now, a common approach to personally owned devices, these three approaches we'll discuss will be bring your own devices, choose your own device, and company owned and provided equipment. They have a variety of levels of flexibility, control, and security consideration on these three different approaches. The bring your own device, the user brings their own device to work, connect to the network. It offers flexibility and convenience, allowing individuals to use familiar devices. However, it does pose a security challenge as personal devices may not meet the organization's security requirements or they may introduce vulnerabilities. The choose your own device, where the employers are going to provide employees with a list of approved devices where they can choose for work purposes. So the user purchases the device from the approved list and it can connect to the organization's network. This provides a balance between the bring your own device and the organization control. And it allows the user to have a little bit of their preferences used while ensuring the compatibility with security measures and network access controls. The company owned and provided equipment that involves organizations providing the device to the employees for work related tasks. The company is going to own and manage these devices, and that's to ensure that they have compliance with security policies, control over the hardware and software configurations. This is a high level of control and security. Organizations can enforce specific security measures and manage the device configuration with this model. However, it can be more expensive for organizations to buy and maintain a fleet of company owned devices. LANs also play a crucial role in connecting devices within a local office and building, facilitating communications and data transfer. So let's talk about some of the common network devices found on a LAN. Excuse me. A switch, it's acts as a central point for connecting various devices within a network. Switches direct traffic by receiving data packets and forwarding them to the appropriate destination. They enable efficient communication between devices within the LAN, ensuring that the data reaches its intended recipient. Routers connect LANs together or connects a LAN to a WAN. They serve as gateways and they direct data packets between different networks. Now, routers use routing protocols to determine the best path for the data transmission, and this ensures efficient and reliable communication between networks. Firewalls act as a barrier between the LAN and external network. They protect against unauthorized access and malicious threats. So, a firewall will examine incoming and outgoing traffic based on predefined rules and policies, and they allow or block that traffic accordingly. And they help maintain the integrity and confidentiality of a LAN. Now, there are other devices that can be found on a LAN, maybe such as an access point, which provides wireless connectivity, or you may have network switches with advanced features like a VLAN, a virtual LAN, that's used to support network segmentation. So we're going to look at a couple of different types of LAN, the flat network and segmented networks. These LAN configurations play a crucial role in controlling network traffic and ensuring efficient communication within an organization. So a flat network has few controls or restrictions in place to limit network traffic. In this type of LAN, every workstation connected to the network can communicate with any other computer on that network. There are no barriers or limitations opposing the network traffic flow. Now, flat networks are often found in organizations that are smaller or environments where simplicity and unrestricted communications are prioritized. They do offer flexibility and ease of connectivity, and they allow users to share resources and communicate freely across the network. Now, keep in mind that the lack of network controls can result in potential security risks and congestion issue as the networks grow. Now, in contrast to flat networks, segmented networks implement controls to restrict and manage network traffic. A segmented network divides the LAN into separate segments or subnets, each with its own set of controls and communication rules. These controls can be enforced by the use of switches, routers, internal firewalls, and other network devices. There are some advantages that are provided by segmented networks. By dividing the network into segments, access controls and firewalls can be implemented to restrict communications between the segments. This helps protect sensitive data and systems from unauthorized access or malicious activities. Segmented networks also allow for better network performance by reducing unnecessary network traffic. So, with the controlled communications between the segments, network resources can be utilized more efficiently, leading to a faster and more reliable data transfer. And then segment networks are also easier to maintain. They have easier management and troubleshooting. So each segment can be separately configured and maintained, allowing network administrators to focus on a specific area of the network and apply appropriate controls. The LAN to WAN domain acts as a bridge connecting the local area network to the wide area network. This domain plays a critical role in enabling organizations to extend their network connectivity beyond their immediate location. So, like I said, the wide area networks, they are the infrastructure that connect geographically dispersed offices and locations. This can be spanning across cities, regions, or even countries. Now, with the LAN to WAN domains, routers and firewalls are going to play a vital role in connecting the LANs to the WAN. Routers are responsible for directing network traffic between the LAN and WAN and ensuring efficient data transfer across the different networks. Now, firewalls, on the other hand, provide network security by filtering and monitoring the traffic between the LAN and the WAN. Now, you can also establish an additional layer of security by segmenting part of a LAN into a demilitarized zone. Now, a DMZ acts as a buffer zone between the LAN and the WAN, and that's sitting on the outside of the private network facing the public internet. The servers that are placed in the DMZ are specifically designed to provide public-facing access to the organization's services. These are things such as your public websites, email servers, maybe an FTP server. By placing these servers in the DMZ, you can ensure that the internal requests are handled separately from internal network resources, so it reduces the risk of unauthorized access to sensitive data and systems. The WAN domain is typically the internet. Now, companies have used the internet as means to connect their offices and locations worldwide, but you want to ensure the security and privacy of communications over the internet, as this does present a significant challenges to organizations. So, to address security concerns associated with using the internet for WAN connectivity, a lot of organizations have adopted a virtual private network, a VPN, that creates an encrypted tunnel over the internet. So, it allows for secure communications between remote locations. So, by leveraging VPN technology, organizations can establish that private and protected connection within the public internet infrastructure. Now, one of the notable advantages of a VPN is the ability to lower communication cost. Instead of leasing expensive private lines for WAN connectivity, uh, organizations can utilize VPN tunnels over the internet at a fraction of that cost. And cloud computing has also emerged as a major technology. This is a way that you can um, get software, infrastructure, and platform services on remote networks. So, with cloud computing, organizations can leverage those capabilities they need on demand, paying for only what they use. And that is something that's typically facilitated through the WAN or the internet. The remote access domain deals with the secure communications from a public unsecured network into a private secure company network. So this domain presents unique challenges and risks that must be addressed to maintain the integrity and confidentiality of data. Um, some of these that we will talk about, these key issues, include authentication methods and the best practices for remote access. So this extends the concept of user domains, but it focuses on communication that travels from the public and unsecure networks into a private and secure company network. Now, this does pose a significant risk to an organization's data and resources, so it does require a strong security measure. Now, similar to the user domains, remote access domain faces challenges related to user behavior, awareness of policies, and on the job training. There are other issues that introduce remote access, including authentication and network connectivity issues that must be addressed to ensure secure communications. So, to enhance security in remote access domain, you commonly would implement a two-factor authentication. Now, this method combines two different types of credentials to verify a user's identity. Something you know. This refers to the traditional ID and password combination. Something you have is the second factor involves possessing a physical token, a fob, or using an authenticator app on a mobile device. Finally, something you are. It's biometric features such as a fingerprint scanner or facial recognition, and that can also serve as an additional factor of authentication. Now, to ensure the security and integrity of remote access, organizations should adhere to the several best practices. These include implementing strong password policies, regularly updating and patching remote access software, monitoring network traffic for any suspicious activities, and then providing comprehensive training on remote access security to employees. The system application domain focuses on managing systems and application software related issues in the IT infrastructure. This covers all aspects related to system and application software in an IT environment. System software refers to the software that enables a computer system to function, such as not only your operating system, but also network communication software. Application software includes business software that end users interact with, such as email clients, word processors, spreadsheets, and so forth. So next, we're going to look at the information security business challenges and security policies that mitigate risk within these 7 domains. We're going to discuss the importance of security policies in mitigating risk and ensuring the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the data within each of these domains. So the user domain that we've discussed presents a unique challenge in maintaining information security due to the inherent unpredictability and inconsistency of human behavior. So the end users, which are human, they can introduce vulnerabilities and risks through their actions or lack of awareness. This behavior is not always predictable, and it makes it challenging to enforce consistent security policies. So to mitigate the risk associated with human behavior and to ensure a secure environment, these following security policies are crucial. Regular and comprehensive awareness training programs should be implemented to educate users about potential risks, security best practices, and their responsibility in maintaining information security. By increasing security awareness, users can make informed decisions and better understand the importance of security. Security policies should also include the principle of segregation of duties. This ensures that no single user has excessive control or access to sensitive information. This helps distribute the responsibilities and minimize the risk of unauthorized activities. Encouraging and rewarding compliance with security policies can reinforce desired behaviors among users. So, recognition, incentives, and acknowledgement of individuals or teams who constantly adhere to the security practices that can help foster a culture of security consciousness within an organization. And finally, regular monitoring and assessment of user activities are essential to identify any deviations from established security policies. This can be achieved through various means such as log analysis, user behavior analytics, and security incident monitoring. And that allows prompt detection and response to potential security breaches. The workstation domain also poses significant challenges when it comes to maintaining information security, as its breaches within this domain can lead to a compromise of the entire network. A breach or compromise of a workstation can result in the introduction of malicious software, such as virus, worms, ransomware, and that can be spread through the network and cause significant damage to data and the systems. So, to mitigate risk associated with workstation breaches and malware infection, the following security policies should require regular patching of operating systems and software applications. That's going to be essential to address known vulnerabilities. Additionally, installing and maintaining up-to-date antivirus software and workstations that can help detect and prevent the execution of malicious code. You also want to make sure that compliance with relevant regulations and industry standards. This is vital to ensure the security and privacy of sensitive data. Also, establishing and enforcing consistent security configuration rules for workstations is essential. So, this includes implementing secure password policies, enabling firewalls, disabling unnecessary services, and restricting administrative privileges. Consistency in security configurations help reduce the attack surface and minimize the risk of unauthorized access. Limiting access to workstations to authorized users that reduces the risk of unauthorized individuals gaining physical or remote access to critical systems. Some access control measures, such as strong authentication mechanisms, user access rights management, and multi-factor authentication. These should be implemented to ensure that only authorized individuals can access those workstations. And any sensitive data that's stored on the workstation should be encrypted to protect against unauthorized access in the event of a theft or loss. Encryption provides an additional layer of security and ensures that even if the data is compromised, it remains unreadable to unauthorized individuals. The LAN domain presents unique challenges when it comes to information security, particularly due to the diverse types of traffic it carries, including the voice, the VoIP video, and traditional computer data. So LANs are expected to provide uninterrupted availability and sufficient capability to handle various types of traffic. However, with the increasing use of voice, video, and social media, it can significantly impact the availability of the bandwidth. And that leads to network performance issues and potential security risks. So, to address the challenges posed by the traffic and bandwidth constraints in the LAN domain, a couple of security policies would be to limit the use of live video. So, streaming live video over the LAN it can consume significant bandwidth and impact the performance of other critical network activities. So, implementing policies that limit the use of live video streaming helps ensure that the network resources are appropriately allocated and available for essential business operations. Music feed and social media sites can also consume considerable bandwidth and pose security risk if not properly managed. So, by establishing policies that restrict or regulate the use of music feeds and social media sites, that helps optimize network resources and minimize potential vulnerabilities associated with these platforms. Now, by implementing these security policies, organizations can strike a balance between the availability of the LAN resources and the need for maintaining the network performance and security. It is essential, though, to educate employees about the reasons behind these policies and their impact on the network efficiency. That will help to foster compliance and understanding. So, in the LAN to WAN domain, the primary challenge revolves around the protection of servers located in the DMZ. These servers are often host websites that serve as the public image or major sales channel for organizations. So it's crucial to establish robust security policies to mitigate risk and safeguard the DMZ servers effectively. So by establishing strict rules on how DMZ traffic should be limited and monitored is essential to this involves defining protocols, ports, and services that are allowed to access the DMZ service. By carefully controlling and monitoring inbound and outbound traffic, organizations can mitigate the risk of unauthorized access and potential attacks. Also, regularly maintaining and updating the configuration of the DMZ servers is also a crucial step in maintaining their security. This includes implementing secure configurations, disabling unnecessary services, and applying security patches promptly. By keeping the servers up to date and properly configured, you can reduce the likelihood of vulnerabilities being exploited. Also, conducting regular external penetration testing is an important security practice for the LAN to WAN domain. Now, what this does, this simulates real world attack scenarios to identify vulnerabilities in the DMZ servers and your overall network infrastructure. By proactively identifying and addressing security weaknesses, you can enhance your defenses and protect the DMZ servers from potential threats. The wide area network has its own specific challenges related to the reliability and performance to the network interface. Um, so, as organizations rely on the WAN, it's including the internet, to connect offices and support their operations. So, it's going to be essential to address these challenges through effective security policies. Once again, remember the WANs rely heavily on the VPN to establish the secure connections over public networks. Now, the reliability of that VPN is going to be subject to the quality of the service provided by the internet service provider. So, even if an ISP guarantees a certain level of service, there still can be issues when traveling over the public network. Additionally, sometimes ISPs will impose bandwidth limitations, and that can also impact the performance and availability of the WAN connection. So, some of the security policies that should be implemented, the security policy should define the specific configuration requirements for establishing VPN connections over the WAN. This includes using encryption protocols, implementing strong authentication mechanisms, and configuring the secure tunnel. You also want to clearly define roles and responsibilities within the organization regarding the management and oversight of the WAN connections. This ensures that there are designated individuals or teams responsible for monitoring the WAN, managing relationships with the ISP, and addressing any reliability or performance issues. Security policies should also outline how to engage with WAN vendors and establish guidelines for managing vendor relationships. These include specifying the requirements for service level agreements, performance monitoring, incident responses. By managing WAN vendors, organizations can assure accountability, address issues promptly, and maintain a reliable and secure WAN infrastructure. You also want to regularly validate the security configuration of the WAN connection, as this is essential to ensure compliance with established policies. Now, this involves conducting periodic assessments, vulnerability scans, and penetration testing to identify any security gaps or weaknesses. So, the challenge for the remote access domain is related to the speed, reliability, and security of mobile devices and broadband connections. The speed and reliability of mobile devices and broadband connections can vary depending on location and carrier. Remote access performances and user experience are directly influenced by the quality of the network connection. So, organizations must consider the security implications of utilizing remote access technologies. To overcome the challenges in the remote access domain, you should implement security policies that address risk assessment, the focus on broader capabilities of the devices, and network access control. So, by conducting regular risk assessments, that helps identify potential vulnerabilities and threats associated with remote access. By evaluating the risks specific to remote access technologies, organizations can then implement the appropriate security controls and mitigation strategies to protect sensitive data and systems. Security policies should also take into account the broader capabilities of remote access devices. This includes considering aspects such as device ownership, data encryption, patch management, the device wiping in case of loss or theft. So you want to clear guidelines and protocols that are established to address these factors. and ensure the security of remote access. And also, by implementing network access control mechanisms, this helps ensure that only authorized devices and users can connect to the organization's network remotely. The network access control solutions verify device compliance with security policies. It enforces access controls and monitors network activity to detect and respond to potential security incidents. By utilizing NAC, organizations can enhance security posture of the remote access infrastructure. And finally, in the system application domain, organizations face the challenge of data leakage. That possesses significant risk to the confidentiality and integrity of sensitive information. Now, data leakage refers to the unauthorized disclosure or loss of sensitive data from the system or application. This can occur through various channels, such as accidental email attachments, unauthorized file transfer, or insider threats. Data leakage can result in reputational damage, financial loss, or compliance violations. So, to address the challenges of data leakage in the system application domain, the following security policies should be implemented: a data loss prevention or data leakage prevention program that provides multiple layers of defense to prevent data leakage. It includes a combination of tools, technologies, and policies that are aimed at identifying, monitoring, and protecting sensitive data within the system and application environment. Also, you want to enforce policies and controls on devices. These are your workstations, your servers, mobile devices, to prevent data leakage through device level vulnerabilities or unauthorized actions. So, in this chapter, we've discussed the 7 domains of typical IT infrastructure and the importance of implementing security policies to mitigate risk within each domain. We've explored the key concepts related to identifying risk and common security controls and the role of security policies in maintaining a secure environment. Overall, by identifying risk within each domain, implementing common security controls, and using security policies effectively, organizations can mitigate risk and ensure the security and integrity of their IT infrastructure. It is important to understand that security is an ongoing practice, an ongoing process that requires continuous monitoring, adaptation, and adherence to the best practices.